Yestival, you're looking bra. I think I can say this for every single person here. There is nothing and no one that will stop me campaigning for Scotland's independence. When I was leaving the chamber, when we were told to either shut up or get out, I looked Dominic Raab and Boris Johnson square in the eyes and I told them, Scotland's independence is happening and there is nothing you can do to stop it. And now we've got Liz Truss, who has made her contempt for Scotland and our democracy very, very clear in the absolute shambles of their leadership contest. And that has only gotten worse since she assumed the role of Prime Minister. Now, this is somebody who has single-handedly made the corrupt, dishonest Boris Johnson look like a safe pair of hands. In her conference speech, she mentioned growth 3 times. Well, I've got something to say about her growth. What we've seen a growth of is poverty, inequality, and excess deaths because of Tory party policies over the last 12 years, and it's got to stop. She used another word 3 times in that speech, and on that I agree with her. Her policies are wrong, wrong, wrong. The independence movement brings so many people together, and we have shared a policy platform over the last 10 years that involves rational, sensible discussion and debate, where the common good of the people is the key objective. And we expect our parliamentarians in Westminster to get the Tory party and the Labour Party to understand those aspirations. Well, that's impossible because they don't share those aspirations. The priority of the Tory party is, as it's always been, greed. And nothing is more indicative of that than the huge number of billions of pounds that are secreted away in offshore accounts that the HMRC will not pursue, but they'll pursue ordinary people. They'll destroy their lives, but they will let the Tories continue to enact policies that keep pushing our money into the hands and the profits of large corporations and already financially wealthy people. It must stop. And those loopholes are no accident. That's our money that's been squirreled away on COVID contracts and many other schemes that the Tory party come up with. That's what they used to say that we were the fastest growing economy in the G7 during COVID. It was because they were handing over billions of pounds to well-connected rich people. That was where the growth was. Growth in that way is a lie. It's not for the common good. It's not for you and me, but it's our money that's being stolen. And we've got food banks. So in my constituency, my food bank, is now struggling to continue. They used to spend £3,000 a month to keep the shelves stocked. It's now costing them over £20,000 a month, and they cannot sustain that. More and more people are turning to food banks. People can't afford to feed their children. They can't afford to pay their mortgage. They can't afford the foreign holidays that they were used to. That insecurity, we must tap into that and show them that there is a different way for an independent Scotland to look after the common good of everyone in our communities. And during this mess, there's a really important question. Where are Labour? Well, I'll tell you where they're not. They're not on the picket lines alongside workers demonstrating for a decent pay for their hard work. And the other thing about the Labour Party is, even if there is a Labour administration in the future with Keir Starmer, their position in Scotland's democracy is no different to the Conservatives. They still deny our voice. They still deny our right for independence. And the reason that this is going to continue is all of this is being discussed within the UK state apparatus. The Scottish Government is an entity of the UK state. The Supreme Court is an entity of the UK state. And Westminster is an entity of the UK state. And if we really expect those institutions to agree to the dismantling of the very state that they are part of, then we're fooling ourselves. We must build an international case for independence. You cannot expect your jailer to hand you the keys and let you out. We must get our freedom justly from the international community. We must send MPs to Westminster who don't go there to dot the I's and cross the T's, but are prepared to negotiate our independence and make it clear that enough is enough. To do that, we must unite. We must be one movement. We must speak with one voice. And we must draw on the talents of everyone in the movement, from the SSRG and the research that they're doing on the Constitution, to Salvo and their research into the history. The history of our nation is always important, because we must be ready to act. If you look at examples where states were failing, like the UK state is failing now. So in Estonia, they were just about to be invaded by the USSR. And the USSR fell apart before their eyes. And they were ready to declare independence because they'd done the work to prepare for that. We need a prospectus for independence. We need it ready and ready to go as soon as we have the opportunity for it to happen. Listen, guys, it's brilliant to be here. I'm really grateful to have an opportunity to speak to you. To see you all here, to see the flags, to see the spirit of 2014 still alive. The dream is very much alive. Thanks very much.